Hey there. So, we all know Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
He's a hedgehog, blue, mono eye, played in a rock band. You know that Sonic. He has had many adventures throughout the years, whether it's saving woodland creatures from being turned into robots, keeping the world safe from massive orbital space face lasers, or teaching kids not to jump in clothes dryers.
It gets pretty hot in there, and those dryer fins can break your bones when they get going.
Bet you never hear Sonic say that, huh?
Anyways, Sonic has been involved in what some would call truly monumental games throughout the years. Whether you're talking about the original Genesis games or some of his most recent adventures, Sonic has always found a way to stay relevant in the world of gaming. For better or worse. And what that means is that he has garnered an incredible following of fans who will always come to defend him in any of his games. It seems that every game, no matter how good or bad, is loved and cherished by the community.
Me personally, I've been playing Sonic games almost my entire life, and I've only beaten like 2 or 3 of them. Maybe 4. I think.
Yeah, I was always a fan of Sonic games, but when I first started playing them, I knew next to nothing about massive feud he had with Nintendo. My whole life I've been playing Sonic games on Nintendo platforms, whether it be Sonic Adventure 2, Heroes, or the Mega Collection on the GameCube, or even the Sonic Advance games on my Game Boy. Growing up, my parents had a Genesis, Game Gear, Dreamcast, all of those things, but I never once thought about how Sonic used to be exclusive to the platform. I always had another way to play almost all of Sonic's games. He always seemed to be involved in these massive collections, like the Mega Collection, Gem Collection, or even the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection. This one is just... no, it's so good!
Yeah, my family owned almost all the games from his collection physically for their original consoles, but there was this one game that always haunted me.
Now, before that, I think I got a bit of explaining to do. See, when my family and I were growing up, some people decided not to treat the game discs with the respect that they deserved, and a lot of them ended up breaking. See, our family had 5 kids in it, and 4 of us loved playing video games. And when it was one of our turns to play on the console, and someone left their old disc in there, we didn't take the time to just break out the game case and put it away like we were supposed to. You would just take the disc and put it on top of the entertainment stand, or put it on top of the system you're playing on or something. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but our gaming setup was on a concrete floor, and if those games fell from any kind of height or had the shiny side hit the ground, it was all over. Yeah, we were fairly young at the time, and as we got older, we would actually put the games in cases. But then another problem arose. I like to call it video game roulette when I was younger. It has nothing to do with roulette. It's basically when you open a game case and then... oh man. Yeah, the cases were empty half the time, the other half they had the wrong game, and sometimes you just find the odd disc just sitting out somewhere. Believe me, it was a nightmare. I just want to play Smash Bros. Dig it, how many games do I have to go through? So, as you can imagine, sometimes the games would just get lost or break, which was always a terrible experience. So put yourself in my shoes for a second. You come home after school one day, decide you want to play some Wii Play, you go open the game case and find that the game was in there, but not locked in all the way. No big deal, you think. You go to put it in the system, you turn it on, then those words appear.
Well, shoot.
You try everything you can to get the disc working again. Changing consoles, putting other games in, and then putting it back in, those weird disc cleaning solutions. None of it works. You try and try, but nothing seems to come out of it. The game is now broken. Yeah, this would happen a lot with games that my family owned. People just didn't seem to be able to take care of these things for the life of them. And it was infuriating. Now, why did I go on this rant about broken game discs?
Because I think this whole situation has made me nostalgia blind for Sonic R. Pray for me. This is not good. If anybody finds out that I enjoy playing Sonic R, my life's ruined. No job is going to hire me, I won't be able to buy a house, and I think Nintendo is going to ban me from their online service.
I need to play Mario Kart Online. That game's not good for anything else. Now, let me explain myself again here. Sonic Gems Collection on the GameCube was a game that I really enjoyed as a child, and really only for 3 games. Sonic the Fighters, Sonic CD, and Sonic R. I got my fill on Sonic the Fighters and Sonic CD when I downloaded them on my Xbox 360, but I never had another way to play Sonic R until recently. By ways I cannot legally disclose, I played Sonic Gems Collection once again. I played Sonic the Fighters, it was okay. I played Sonic CD, it was okay. I played Sonic R, and I completed the game in one sitting, and was having a good time every step of the way. There was just something about the barely serviceable controls, something about the completely baffling soundtrack, something about the collectibles that just really clicked with me. I was genuinely having a fantastic time with this game. I got first place in every race, unlocked every character, got all the emeralds, and every time I finished the race, I just had a smile on my face. I think something is seriously wrong with me. I think this game just has the perfect amount of terrible in every single aspect. The visuals? Yeah. The music? Yeah. The controls? Pfft, you got that right. But there's just something about this game that just clicks off the sensors in my head that says, yes, this is amazing. Now let's get this straight now. I am definitely not saying that Sonic R is a good game. Have you played it? I have. The game reeks of bad, but I just think it has this certain charm to it. I love the lyrics to these songs. I love how weird you interact with things. I love how they put the collectibles in some of the most irritating spots for a racing game. But it just feels so right. Look, we all know how Sonic games can be complete nightmares to play sometimes, right? I played Sonic and the Secret Rings, boring. I played Sonic Forces, boring. I played Shadow the Hedgehog, boring. But why? All these games were objectively higher quality and more action-packed than a stupid racing game, but I just can't enjoy them as much. Sonic and the Secret Rings controls like a slug on morphine, Shadow the Hedgehog is a massive game of hide-and-seek, and Sonic Forces has no interesting things going on other than your Sonic Soda. Sonic R has controls that make the game barely playable, which makes it more interesting to just run around the tracks. Sonic R is also kind of like a game of hide-and-seek if you're trying to find those Sonic coins and Chaos Emeralds, but the levels are so much smaller and you're going so fast throughout them, it just feels like a drive-in dash, and honestly, I like the way these characters look. Usually I'm not a big fan of those super low poly models, but these things are just textured perfectly, as in they're just one solid color.
Yeah, I suppose I should actually talk some more things about the game if I'm going to praise this game, of all games for existing, so here we go.
Right, so booting up the game for the first time, we are greeted to this wonderful screen. Yeah, let that sink in. This isn't your daddy's Sonic game. This is Sonic R. You see that? That is art. What do you think Eggman is doing down here? And also, did someone say perfect title screen music? Because you should have. Oh, every game needs this song on their title screen. Right, so actually advancing past that life changer shows us this. You see that realistic flag action? This game deserves a gold medal. Maybe silver. Okay, bronze. Alright, for modes we got Grand Prix, Time Attack, X, and Options. So going to the Options menu, we got all these fantastic choices before us. Times, which shows us the best times for each track per character. Load and save data, which screwed me over hard when I first played, because the first option it gives you after you started playing is New Game, so if you pick a file after you started to play, you lose all your data. Oh boy, here we got the sound test, and I went through every single option trying to find a secret of some sort. There were none. And now we actually got a neat little thing going on here. The game menu. Now this has things you expect. The map, the difficulty, ghosts, 2-player split screen settings, but then we have this setting right here. Weather. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things about this game. Every time you load up a track, you could have different weather. It could make a level icy, rainy. The possibilities are infinite, really. If by infinite you mean very finite. Alright, so that's enough of the options menu. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole shindig. The Grand Prix. Oh, the only time I've been this excited to watch racing animals is when they had those little people race that camel. So here, we have our characters. We got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Oh, what the hell? Well, I guess Amy can't bother to tire out her pretty little legs and has to drive all over the place. Yeah, when I watch the Olympics, my favorite runners are the ones in the cars. It makes for a lovely show. Alright, so I guess now is a better time than any to talk about this. So all the characters have a unique ability tied to them. Sonic gets a double jump, Tails gets the power of flight, and he also doubles as super obnoxious to play as. Knuckles gets his glide power, and Amy gets the power of being absolutely terrible. Seriously, her car is like the slowest thing ever. She has this boost that makes her car uncontrollable, and the only positive thing about it is that it floats on water. That is, honestly, the only thing I like about this character. For tracks, we got Resort Island, Radical City, Regal Ruin, Reactive Factory, and everyone's favorite, Protected. Right, so let's jump straight into Resort Island for Race 1.
Ready, set, go!
Oh boy, these sure are graphics. Honestly, is this not everything we'd want in a Sonic racing game? There's no hoverboards, no karts, except for that cheater over there. just Sonic and his feet. And listen to that jamming tune! So the levels. There are environmental hazards all over the place. We got walls, rocks, fences, and even water. And as I said, Amy floats above the water, but everyone else just instantly sloops right into it. And I always thought it was interesting that when your character is submerged underwater, they can still grab the rings or floating above the water. I don't know why. Right, so now to talk about the actual track. So here we actually have a neat little level. It actually has some cool designs. There's a few different branching paths that you can take. You can do some tricky jumps over the water for a shortcut. You can jump to these ruins, and you can actually cut between the trees here. Yeah, just look at this minimap. This track has some things going on, that's for sure. Personally, I'm always a fan of racetracks where you can take multiple different paths, with risk and reward tied to them. Every one of the courses in the game, except for the last one, has multiple different paths and shortcuts you can take to get around the level. And we have more than just shortcuts on these levels too. We also have rings to increase our ring counter, little medallions to give us big chunks of rings instantly, or power-ups, booster pads which consume rings when you use them, but boost you farther for the more rings that it consumes, and these toll doors which you can use to open shortcuts.
Oh, this is too much content for me! I need some backup!
You know how Green Hill Zone is the perfect Sonic level? Well, I think Resort Island is the perfect Sonic R level. It just feels fun to get a good line and race around this track, whether you just slide right through this rock cave perfectly, do some snazzy jumps over this water pool, or just perfectly nail your turn on this bridge. It just feels nice. Right, so that's level 1, it's cool and all, but what about level 2? Okay, so the lyrics to the background song in this level are the most fantastically terrible thing ever, and I love it. She just keeps going on and on about why it's perfect to live in a city. The city, mind you, where there's a river that went straight through the middle, roads missing sections, roads that lead straight into buildings, and a set of pinball bumpers. But no, living in the city is great. Wait, what did she say there? Living in a city where everything is free. What the hell kind of city is she living in? There are toll doors all throughout this city. You have to spend like 100 rings to open everything. I just think she's getting delusional. Let's get to the next race before she catches on to my ranting. Next up, we got Regal Ruin. Right, so this level has some questionable design choices, including, but not limited to, a narrow staircase that leads into a 180-degree turn, a ramp you can't see over that leads into a 180-degree turn, and a wall that is too steep to run over without the assist of a boost pad. But I still enjoy this level. See, I think part of what makes this game so tolerable is that each level takes like 2 minutes to beat, so you don't have to spend like 8 minutes at a time dealing with these terrible levels like you would in other racing games. It's just little itty bitty bite-sized chunks of terrible. Dip it in some salsa.
Delicious.
Oh, and by the way, this time the song is just about wanting to go and explore some ruins. These songs are just fantastic. On to race 4. Reactive Factory. Yeah, this level, not as annoying as the ruins. It is still kind of weird though. There are these paths you can run off that turn into... God, I hope these don't qualify as secrets. And sometimes I feel like I'm following the path like I'm supposed to, and then the game is like, oh no, you're going the wrong way. But still, I enjoyed my time on this level. And this time, the lyrics are about working out our differences so that we can be more productive and build a better world. It's true art, honestly. So now, we got our final level, which we actually can't access yet. In order to unlock this level, you need to get first place on each race, which honestly isn't that hard. So boom, 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 and boom, that's all of those done. And now we have the final level unlocked. Radiant Emerald. Alright, so this level's just a blatant copy of Rainbow Road, and they try to get cutesy with their level design. They have all these curves you're supposed to run around, but the camera just doesn't want to follow you. It just bobs all over the place. There's like nothing to do in this level. There's a T intersection where if you go the wrong way, it's a dead end. There's no interesting set pieces anywhere. It's just straightaways and turns. Even worse though, this level takes a minute for each lap.
Dear God, no!
Yeah, this takes way too long for my liking. This course is easily the worst. And the song isn't even that good either. It's just lyrics about how this other guy makes her feel so high. Where do rainbows go? You know, normal people things. But if you do manage to get first place on this course, you do unlock the credits. Woo. And Dr. Eggman is a playable character, and he could shoot these completely useless missiles like twice a race. So I guess that's cool. But you know what the worst part is? You can't skip the credits. I'm sorry, Sonic R, but I don't feel like watching your credits after playing you for like 10 minutes. Yeah, this game is very short if you're just going for first place in every cup, but there are extras to go for. Did you notice these shadowy characters on the character select? It'd be hard not to. Well, if you get 5 Sonic coins hit on each of the 4 main levels, after the race you get challenged to go one-on-one with one of Eggman's evil henchmen. And if you beat them in a race, you get to unlock them for play. Yeah, you can unlock amazing characters like Metal Sonic, who has the power of high jump and kind of floating on water. Tails Doll, who just kind of floats. It's kind of freaky just watching him float around, really. You got Mechanux, who has the high jump and almost float of Metal Sonic, and then the glide of Knuckles with no downside.
Can you say balanced?
And finally, Egg Robo, which is a worse version of Eggman. Seriously, he takes longer to get the top speed, and he can sink in water, but not like Sonic or Tails, who do it instantly, but like the other metals, where he slowly drops speed, then falls in, then has to get his speed back up. He can't even jump! This guy's literally less than useless! Right, so these characters are neat and all, but there is one more secret character you can unlock that isn't shown on this screen.
Can you guess who it is?
On each level, except for Radiant Emerald, there is at least one hidden Chaos Emerald you have to collect, and these are always locked behind these pay doors. There's what you can get for 20 rings, but the rest require 50. And sometimes these things are really out of the way, so you gotta go collect those emeralds and finish the race. You gotta be kidding me. Right, so the emeralds don't count unless you get first, so here we go. Well, it only took me 1 or 2 tries on most courses, but on the factory stage, I had to retry like 8 times because I could never get first place after getting the emeralds. It was annoying. But if you do manage to get every emerald, you unlock the final character, Super Sonic. He is easily the best character to play as. He's super fast, glides over water, and has amazing turning. Worth it! Also, if you go back to Radiant Emerald with Super Sonic, you get the real final challenge of the game. You know it's serious because the music changes to a real winner. And what do you get for winning? The credits! Neat. Yeah, I'm glad that I wasted my time getting first place in every race, getting every single Sonic token, and getting all the Chaos Emeralds just so I could get the exact same unskippable credit sequence. Good use of my time. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about with the Grand Prix, but we still have some other modes we can talk about. Woo. If we go over to the time trial section over here, we have 4 different game modes that we can play. Normal, Reverse, Get 5 Balloons, and Tag 4 Characters.
What does that even mean?
So the normal mode just has you going through the tracks with your character of choice and try to get to the end as fast as possible without the assistance of rings. The reverse mode is like the normal mode, but get this, you go in reverse. It's crazy, I know. But the Get 5 Balloons has you try and find all 5 balloons hitting on the 5 tracks, and Tag 4 Characters has you, no, tell me if I need to slow down, chase down 4 other characters and tag them. This is riveting stuff, I assure you. Yeah, the Tag 4 mode is more annoying than it has any right to be, since you actually have to collide with the other characters to tag them, and their hitbox is very small, and they like to jitter around a lot, and the weird floaty controls.
Also, only time I'd recommend Amy. Makes it feel like Grand Theft Sonic.
Oh yeah, we also got the multiplayer mode. I have no friends, so I didn't play this one. So I think that covers everything I wanted to say about this game. I really enjoyed coming back to it a lot more than I thought I would, and it was a really fun time the whole way through.
Yeah, honestly, I was stunned by just how much I enjoyed coming back to Sonic R. I think I need to reevaluate my entire life after this experience. So, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go sit in the closet of eternal pain and torment. Wish me luck.